All right, for today, we're going to be working questions 15 through 22 on our notes. Okay, so 15 and 16, I'm asking about naming an angle. It's either acute, obtuse, right, or straight. Now, we learned yesterday how to measure an angle, right? We use a protractor. We learned how to measure an angle. Now, the four cases that I see, acute, obtuse, right, and straight, those two names are based on the measurement of the angle. An acute angle obviously has to be more than 0. So I'm going to say the value, let me call it x because I don't know the value of the angle, has to be more than 0, but less, keep in mind I said less than 90. So acute is what we called small angles, right? Angles are positive, so it has to be more than 0. There's no such thing as 0 degrees. It has to be more than 0, but it has to be less than 90. All right, again, we call this our small angles. And if we break it down, if you see the name, there's and then cute, right? Girls tend to say cute to little things. So guys, we're not that great when we to express our feelings, but girls are, right? If you guys read this as cute, that's where the name acute comes from. Again, the small angles has to be less, it has to be between 0 and 90. Now our obtuse, those are the big angles. Our big angles, again, let me call this X because I don't know what my angle is, has to be more than 90, but less than 180. Okay, so more than 90, less than 180. Our right angles is right in the middle, so I'm going to call that 90. Our straight angles are those that measured 180. How do I expect this to look like? Let's take a look. A right angle should look like an L shape. I might rotate it and everything, but a right angle should look like a L shape. So an acute angle, right, less than 90, just close it down. Something like that, less than an L shape. An obtuse angle, imagine an L shape, but you open it a little bit more. So it should look something like that, more than an L shape. And a straight angle, you guys can imagine, straight. I know we have heard that a circle is 360 degrees. That's something that most people know. Now, if you look at the angle of a straight angle, it looks like half of a circle, right? A circle's 360, the half of 360 is 180. So that's why we say that straight angle is 180. So now here, I'm going to classify each angle as acute, obtuse, right, or straight. 15, that looks less than an L shape. So I'm going to call this acute. Let's take a look at number 16. Looks like an L shape. I'm going to call that right. We could measure it, right? We could grab a protractor to find out the measurement, but just by taking a quick glance, we can have an idea. I don't need to know, for an acute angle, I don't need to know the exact number. As long as it's more than 0 and less than 90, I don't really care what exact number it is. Now, for question 17 and 18, I want us to practice a little on how to name the angles, but I want us to learn how to read that. What we're going to be doing, we call this angle addition postulate. I'm going to have two angles. I'm going to add them to make a bigger angle. So looking at this small angle, right? I'm going to call that ABC, ABZ. And I can see, let's see, ABZ is right here. I know that angle is 20 degrees. So I'm going to say this angle is 20 degrees based on the information there. Right, I can call it ABZ or ZBA. And then there's another angle, ZBC or CBZ. This angle, I can tell the measurement is 15x minus 1. If I add the angles, so let's just say 20 plus 15x minus 1 should equal to something, right? If I add the two angles, let me erase this right here. It should equal this angle, which is the angle ABC. So you add the two small angles and it is equal to the big angle. I know angle ABC is equal to 16x plus 10. So let me just write here 16x plus 10. I added the two small angles and it is equal to the big angle. Now here, let me separate the sides to the equal sign. Let me solve for x. On the left side, let me combine like terms. When it comes to x, I just have a 15x. When it comes to numbers without a letter, I see 20 minus 1. So let me call that a positive 19. On the right side, I have 16x plus 10. Cannot combine them. One has an x, the other one does not. Now let me get my letters combined. I see there's a 15x on the left. There's a 16x on the right. What I'm going to do, I'm going to have letters on one side. So the 15x, let me move it to this other side as a minus 15x. So on the right, in this case, I want everything that has an x. And on the other side, everything that does not have an x. So this plus 10, I'm going to move it over here as a minus 10. I'm just going to combine like terms. I'm trying to get them together. It's just that whenever we move something from one side of the equal sign to the other, we got to switch the sign. So I have that 9, right? 19 minus 10 gave me 9 is equal to 1x. 16x minus 15x is 1x. All right, 9 is equal to x. So I know the value of x. However, I go back to my instructions. And here it says, find the measurement of angle ZBC. Right, the instructions here are not solve for x. But I noticed something about ZBC. It says 15x minus 1. I know the value of x. So I'm just going to go 15 times 9 minus 1. But I'm going to replace the value of x. I know 15 times 9 is 135. 135 minus 1 gives me 134. Solve for x and then use it. The way I'm going to solve for x, I'm going to add two small angles to make a big angle. I got to set it as an equation, right? There's an equal sign somewhere in there. Let's take a look at question number 18. Let me find the two small angles. One of them, if I look at this one, I'm using the letters I, K, and L with K in the center. So that is, let's see, I, K, L. It's right here. So this angle is 140. There's another small angle, which is right here. I'm using the letters I, K, and J with K in the center. It's right here. This angle is 4x minus 10. So what I'm going to do, let me add those two small angles. So 140 plus 4x minus 10 equals, I added those two small angles and it has to equal to the big angle, which in this case is LKJ or JKL, which I see it's right there. So this is equal to 18x minus 10. You add two small angles to equal a big angle. The rest is just algebra. So let's take a look. Separate them to the equal side. On the left side, let me combine like terms, 4x. And I have 140 minus 10. That's 130. And this is equal to 18x minus 10. Want to combine like terms. I want to combine the x's. I tend to use the smallest x. right? Because I don't want to deal with negatives if I don't have to. So let me move the 4x as a minus 4x. And then this minus 10, let me move it over as a plus 10. Anything that I move from one side to the other, I gotta switch the sign. Notice I have letters on one side and anything that doesn't have a letter on the other. So here I know 130 plus 10, that's 140. 18x minus 14x, that's 18x minus 4x, that's 14, right? 18 minus 4 is 14. To get the x by itself, let me divide both sides by 14. So I get that 10 is equal to x. I know the value of x. However, I gotta go back to my instructions here, and I'm asking find the measurement of angle JKL. About JKL, I know it's 18x minus 10. I know the value of x now. So I'm gonna go 18 times 10 minus 10, right? 18x minus 10, which happens to be 170. All right, let's take a look at questions 19 through 22 now. Here, some cases, we're looking at, let's take a look. If I add this angle with this angle, and then this other angle, notice I make an entire circle. So let me add everything here. X minus 110 plus x minus 126 plus 2x. I'm adding everything. And I said it makes an entire circle. I know entire circle is 360 degrees. So I'm going to say this is equal to 360. When we talk about measurements of angles, we call this degrees. Now, let me separate my sides through the equal sign. On the left side, let me combine like terms. When it comes to letters, 1x plus 1x plus 2x. That's going to give me 4x. When it comes to numbers that don't have a letter, a negative 110 minus 126, let me call that negative 236. And this is all equal to 360. I want 4x by itself, so this minus 236, let me move it over as a plus 236. So I have that 4x is equal to 596. To get x by itself, let me divide everything by 4. So x is equal to 149. When I read the instructions, it says find the value of x. Right? What is x equal to? In my case, I'm just going to write 149. You don't have to type in x equals 149. Just 149 is enough. Now let's take a look at question number 20. If I add everything, x minus 34 with 23 with 297. So let's go x minus 34 plus 23 plus 297. I add everything. In this case, it is equal to 360 because it's an entire circle. When it comes to letters, I just have an x. Now, negative 34 plus 23 plus 297, that's 286. And this is equal to 360. To get x by itself, let me move the 286 over as a minus 286. So x is equal to 74. All right, my question here was find the value of x, right? Solve for x, 74. Now questions 21 and 22, let's take a look at our notes here. They don't quite make an entire circle. I see 26 degrees and 2x don't quite make an entire circle. However, I notice these two combined make a 90-degree angle. And to emphasize, make the 90-degree angle, notice how I have that little box right there. That little box represents 90. So I have that 26 plus 2x is equal to 90. Now the rest is just algebra. So let's see. Let's separate them to the equal sign. Cannot combine like terms on the left. So I'm just going to try to get the x by itself. The 26, let me move it over as a minus 26. So I get 2x is equal to 90 minus 26 is 64. Now when I divide both sides by 2, I get x is equal to 32. My instructions again were find the value of x, 32. All right, our last example for today. Let's take a look. 3x plus 1 plus 2x plus 4. So 3x plus 1 plus 2x plus 4. I'm going to say this equal to 90, right? Because it makes this angle, which I can see the little box right there, which is 90. The rest is just algebra. When I combine like terms, 3x plus 2x, call that 5x. Then 1 plus 4, let me call that 5. And all this is equal to 90. Want to have x by itself, so the plus 5, let me move it over as a minus 5. So I get that 5x is equal to 85. To get x by itself, let me divide both sides by 5. I know 85 divided by 5 is 17. So 8x equals 17. Again, my instructions were find the value of x, right? Solve for x, 17. There you can see the notes that we took today.